Well, I want to try something a little bit different with my turtle mould. It's quite decorative on the inside. So what I'm going to be using on these bits here is my ready mixed chameleon flakes. This is the little pot that I just chuck all my remnants of chameleon flakes in when I've nearly finished a pot. I just chuck them all in this pot and then I make a colour of my own. I don't know what colour it is. I always think it looks like a galaxy colour, but it's all the different colours placed in. I'm going to paint this over some of the little details in this mould. And then I'm going to part fill this mould and try and do an alcohol ink technique that Claire Holloway taught me. And then once I've done that, I've got a couple of things I want to do for the head and that I'll show you as and when it's ready for me to do that. Now, I don't know if this is going to work out or not, or what it's going to look like, but I thought I would share this as it happens as a little experiment with you on this video. So I've finished doing this now. I've put some chameleon powder gold on the outside and then my mixture of chameleon flakes on the inside there. What I'm going to be using for this is the Pure Glossy by Tea Expert. I love this resin and it works really, really well with alcohol inks. So let's get the PPE on and let's start mixing up my resin. Well, I'm ready to pour my resin now. I'm going to pour it slowly into here up until the line that goes around the shell. I'm working on my heat mat because I want to warm this through and then leave my heat mat on as well to cure it up. There we go. Take my long neck lighter and burst those couple of bubbles that I seem to have created. And now I can start putting my colours in. And this is where I'm going to use the sinker. And again, I'm not putting too much of the sinker in. Let that spread out a little bit. And then I'm going to just go in with a couple more bits of each of the colour. And that's enough now. And what I'm going to do is leave this for about 15 minutes to warm through. And then I'll show you what I'm going to do next. So this has had 15 minutes now. And as you can see, the alcohol inks have gone into the middle. And that's because it's deeper here than it is on these edges, but that's not a problem. I'm going to try something else as well. I'm going to put some fresh alcohol on here, just into those gaps. I'm not adding any more white. I think there's enough white in there. And now I'm going to go in and give it my swirls using my silicone stick. I've got a little cloth here as well, so I can clean up as I'm going and wipe my tip. Now, I want quite a bit of movement in this. So there we go. Quickly go in again and move it again. And now I'm going to leave that to cure up over the next couple of hours on my heat mat. So this is now cured. I have no idea what it's going to look like. I want to decorate these bits. Now I'm going to do it with a mixture of red or fuchsia. Putting some of that in here. And then I'm going to also go over it with some blue. Big thank you to everyone that got me a coffee last month. I really appreciate it. If you want to support my channel and me and say thank you for any of my videos, then the link to get me a coffee is in the description below. Every penny goes into my channels. And you also get your name on my coffee board. And thank you to everyone that regularly buys me a coffee. I really appreciate it. So that's the fuchsia in there, and now all I'm going to do is go over this with the blue, and the blue will stick to anywhere that there isn't any fuchsia. If you're doing this stage, try not to dislodge the resin that you've already got cured in there, because when you pour your next coat of resin in, you don't want that to go deeper and get underneath where you've already poured and ruin it. So I've got my resin mixed up now and I'm ready to pour that. I'm putting a dark coat in because that does allow the chameleon flakes to show up and have a much more impressive finish to them. But I'm not sure how this is going to work out at the moment. What are your thoughts on it? But we'll see once it's all cured. Maybe I put too much alcohol ink in it. Maybe I didn't put enough in it. Maybe I've used too darker colours. We will only find out once the final bit is poured. Big thank you to all my members whose names are coming up now. If you'd like to become a member and have the opportunity to watch the members only videos, there's quite a lot in there, and there's also one on setting up YouTube and what I learned, and also using different sites to sell your items on. Then the link for that is in the description below. You also get access to the members only group on Facebook, which is a brilliant group. So this experiment is nearly ended. I have no idea how it's going to come out. At this point in time, I'm not feeling confident, but then that doesn't matter, does it? Because we need to do experiments to know how things turn out and what's going to happen. What I'll do is, as normal, I will leave this for about 5 minutes and then I will go over it with a long neck lighter and burst any bubbles that have come to the top. So that's at 5 minutes now. I'm going to quickly go over that, burn any bubbles that have come up to the top. Not too many. And now leave that to cure. We can have a look and see what it's going to look like tomorrow. Well, this is all cured now. And the flippers are cured, which are the most important bit, because obviously they're quite thin, so always check them. Now, I'm quite nervous about this, because it could end up looking lovely, or it could end up looking like a puddle of mud. And that's why experiments are always so good. So let's take this out of the mould. And then I can flip it over once it's fully demolded. You ready? Oh, I quite like it. It has gone a bit darker than I wanted it to go, and I think I probably overstirred it, that one, because you can't really see the swirls and things like that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make another one, but this time I'm going to not stir it as much, and I'm not going to put the coloured bits on it as well, so you can see through it a little bit more. I'm not going to go show you all the steps because there's no need. I'm going to do it exactly the same, but I will show you how much alcohol I'm going to put down. So I'm ready to pour my resin in now again for the second time, and as I said, I haven't done the gilded bits on here. I'm just going to pour this right in. This time I'm not going to add any blue. I'm only going to use red, lemon, yellow and orange because I think that caused it to go muddy, and I should know better than that. And now I'm going to leave that for about 10 minutes before I do the swirls. So I've left that now for about 10 minutes, and what I'm going to do is not so many whirls this time. It's already looking so much nicer. Okay, and now I'm going to leave that to cure up. I'm not going to put it on a heat mat this time. I'm going to let it cure up as it is. And hopefully what's not going to happen is everything's going to congregate to the middle. But that might happen. But if it does, I'm going to live with that. Then I'll finish off these bits the same way as I did before. And I can show you what it looks like once it's all cured. And hopefully it'll have worked this time. This time I've gone slightly different. I've done a fuchsia chameleon flakes. And I'm going to use white instead of black. And I've mixed in some glitter. Again, I'm going to pour this in nice and slow until it's full up. And then we can let this cure. And hopefully it's going to turn out a little bit better. But that's the benefit of doing experiments and seeing. Once we find out a way to do it, then we can carry on replicating it. And if we don't, then we try something else. And you should never be afraid to experiment with your crafting or your art, because that's what makes it fun as well. So again, we'll leave that for about 4 or 5 minutes, then I'll go over it with a long neck lighter and pop any bubbles that come up. Well, this is all cured now, and do you know what? I'm even more nervous than I'm doing this one than I was doing this one. So let's have a little look. So I think that one has come out really, really pretty. I think it's come out better than that one because you can see the colours. I shouldn't have put the blue in this one. I think that would have worked much, much better. And that has worked so nice. I love it. I think that might be going on my shelf where I normally put all the bits and pieces that I want to keep. And you've got a nice pattern going on in there with those alcohol inks, and that glitter is coming through there beautifully, giving it a nice sparkle as the background. So let me know what you think. Check out the video I've got coming up next. I think you'll really enjoy that one. Boot the like button, hit the subscribe button, but most of all, enjoy your resin. Take care. Bye.